Hi everybody. Got a great show today. Some of you guys might hate me after this or might not like me very much, but we are talking about fad diets and we are in the middle of a high protein fad diet right now. So I'm gonna let you guys start coming on. Hi everybody. Hi Cowgirl68. I love that handle, by the way. Oh, you guys might not like me after today's show. I'm just telling you. There's going to be a lot of truth telling here that a lot of people are not saying out loud because we are in the middle of a fad diet, and it's a high protein fad diet. So we're going to go over exactly how much protein you need and what happens when we go over that and we are caught up in a high protein diet, because it is detrimental to our longevity. I know, Janet, it's scary, but I'm gonna let you guys start coming on. And I just wanna let you guys know, Romanian Girl 10, hello. You guys, thank you so much. When I see people that are on here every week, it warms my heart because I love what I'm doing. I love sharing this information with you. My sole wish for this is to get you guys on a health trajectory to look and feel your best in every age and every stage of life. That's the goal, right? And I think that when we are talking about our marketing system, our food and drug administration, and everything that is lining up our shelves in our grocery store, the thing that really pisses me off is that we think we're doing something healthy. We're listening to the experts. We're listening to the marketers. We think that we're doing stuff healthy, and we're actually sabotaging our health. So before I get into that, this is going to be, I think, a two-part series. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, who were at my very first live, which, believe it or not, was not that long ago. I think it was like 12 sessions ago is all. But for those of you who have been with me for a long time, I used to do it on Sunday. Thank you, Cowgirl68. We used to be on Sunday at 11, and I'm going to come back on here tomorrow at 11 because I know that there's going to be a lot of questions. I know that I can't finish this all today. And this is a topic that if you want to make sure you do not make yourself more susceptible to Alzheimer's and dementia, this is super important. It is linked with protein, so it's super important. So this is going to be a two-part series. I'm going to do it for an hour today. I'm going to get through as much as I can. We're also going to do an hour tomorrow, and we'll figure out, because I'm not going to do 2 days a week normally, but I want to make sure what is the best day for all of you. So the more people that are on here for me, the better it is for me. It inspires me to keep going. So if Sundays at 11 are better for you, please put it in the comments that Sundays are better. If Saturdays at 11 are better for you, reach out to me. You can DM me and say Saturdays are better at 11 or Sundays are better at 11. Okay, we have one Saturday at 11. Yes, because I know that there's a lot of churchgoers here. And, sometimes people just want to tune out on Sundays. So if Saturdays are better, please let me know. All right, you guys. The winner from last week, which was the cryo sake roller, was the amazing _10. The amazing _10. So this is what you won. It's really good in terms of depuffing and lymphatic drainage. So this was the winner. I will reach out to you and get your mailing address up for grabs this week. If you guys saw my show on body treatments, make sure that if you missed that, go back down after you're done into the feed, and you'll see my top anti-aging body treatments. So this was one of the ones where I said, like, if you fake it till you make it, if you're still dealing with stuff. And this is by Westmore Beauty. They were kind enough to send me this for free, so I'm giving it to you. Natural Radiance is the color. It really works on many different skin tones. And it comes with this brush, so you don't have to get it all over your hand. The brush is fabulous, by the way. But this masks any discoloration, sunspots, freckles, all of that stuff. It works as a tanner as well. And again, no affiliate marketing here. They just gave me the products for free. I'm passing it on to you. So I already use this product and it's fantastic and it's waterproof and non-transferable. So if you want to be in the drawing, your first step is to hit that little arrow right there, the little send button, and send this to 3 more people. So that's the first step. And then once I get this on once I post this to my feed, you tag 3 people. The more you comment on the feed, you guys, I'm using a different system to pick the winners. So the more you comment on the feed, the better chance that you have of winning. So if you tag your 3 people, tag them separately, right? You'll have a better chance of winning. And comment away. Ask me anything. This is your chance to ask me anything. This is what's up for grab. Hit that little send button. Tag 3 people and comment as much as you can in the feed. This is what's up for next week. Okay. I don't know about the ages of everybody here. Yeah, Cowgirl 60. This is a good one. It's a good one. So summer is coming. We can mask all of that stuff. I don't know about the ages of everybody here, but I came out of the womb, really, wanting to search for what are the greatest things out there in terms of looking and feeling your best. I don't know why this happened to me, but it did. I bought my first wrinkle cream at the age of 15. I've tried every diet out there, even though I've never really technically needed to diet, except for like after giving birth. But that's because I've always tried to figure out the science behind what you eat. How does that help you look better? How does that help your skin shine? How does that help your metabolism working at its best? And I started this at a very young age. I am a holistic nutrition and health coach. I am a gerontologist. So a lot of the sciencey stuff behind nutrition, that's what I've been learning for the last 5 years. And it's fascinating how we can succumb to marketing. And we think that we're doing something great for our body and for our health and for our longevity, and we are sabotaging it. And so we're gonna first, I just wanna give you an example because I wanna make sure that you guys understand if you are on the high protein FAD diet that we are currently in, I'm hoping that this live, if I do nothing else, makes you stop searching for protein. You're getting enough. You don't need it in a powder. You don't need it in a bar. You don't need it in your pasta added. You don't need it, okay? And excess protein is going to be detrimental. I'm gonna go over all of this, the different kinds of stuff that we've done. The thing about keto, because I just saw that that's keto, keto came up. The thing about keto is there's a lot of manufacturers who are making a ton of money off of keto coffee and keto this and keto friendly. And you'll see them on packaging. Case in point, Paleo puffs, right? So what does this have to do with paleo? It's processed food. It's a better processed food, but it's processed food. The same thing is true for keto. They'll have keto friendly, okay? So what does this actually mean? It tells you that there's 0 sugar in it, so God knows what they put in it, but 11 grams of protein. So high fiber, high protein. The problem with some of these diets are the marketing behind them and the micromanaging of high protein, low carb. We'll get to how much protein that we actually need, but I want you guys first to understand that with every fad diet comes an opportunity for big companies to make money. Somebody said we are told that protein is what keeps us satiated. It is. Temporarily, it is. If you're having a very low energy day, grab a handful of nuts, wait about 20 minutes, and you will see that you feel a lot better. It's true, protein is what keeps us satiated in times of severe protein deprivation. But when we're in severe protein deprivation, it's actually stimulating autophagy. And we'll get into that. But I want you guys to know you're not alone. Sorry, I'm gonna get comfy. I'm gonna get comfy here, guys. We're talking real here. I just wanna, first of all, I'm just gonna tell you, if anybody is, I was born in 1968, I'm 55 years old. I can't begin to tell you how many fad diets that I have researched and tried to see is this real. And the reason why I started this whole journey was because I was caught up in the non-fat, low-fat craze in the 80s, right? Everything was non-fat, low-fat. I can't tell you how many non-fat Fig Newtons, and I was still into health, but so it wasn't Oreo cookies, but I can't tell you how many packages of non-fat Fig Newtons I purchased and subsequently ate, thinking that I was doing something healthy. Key lime pie flavored Yoplait literally lined the shelves of my refrigerator, right? And then what happens? We ends up the Atkins shake. Yes, there's all of this different kinds of stuff. This is the part that makes me so angry, because we get on the low fat, no fat kick, right? They're adding extra sugar into everything to make it taste great, because when you take the fat out, everything tastes like crap. So they added all this sugar in it, but because we thought, because of the marketing, that we have done something healthy for ourselves, we're actually causing our waistlines to expand. So it's maddening. It's literally maddening. And so what I want to help you guys do, because we're in the middle of a fad diet right now, and we don't even know it. You never know when you're in it. You can't see the forest for the trees, right? You never know when you're in it. You can just tell when your jeans start feeling tight, right? Most of these diets, keto, paleo, vegan, all of them are going to initially have you lose weight. Why? Because they're saying reduce your carbs. And for those people who are starting these keto and paleo and all of these different kinds, I wrote down a bunch of different stuff. The South Beach diet, it's all low carb, high protein. Initially, you're going to lose weight. Initially, you're going to lose weight because you're reducing your sugar intake. Anytime you're reducing your sugar intake by reducing processed carbs and reducing sugar, you're going to lose weight. And so they're adding protein into these diets to make you feel full and to reduce your sugar cravings, but that is a temporary fix. And by the excess protein, you're actually harming your body. We'll get into that. But this is another thing, like going back to the fat-free Fig Newtons. If you knew you've got a pile of cookies here that are full fat, full sugar, full everything. It's just like, boom, how a cookie was supposed to be made. And you've got another pile of, low fat, unrefined sugar, organic, keto friendly pile of cookies. I'm just going to tell you from my own personal experience, I will eat more of that one. I will eat more of the one that has the buzzwords of fad diets. Case in point, does anybody, gosh, I don't even know what to do with this food afterwards, but I do have a lot of kids and they do eat this way. So we've got these Tate's cookies. One of them is just a regular, these are delicious, by the way. If you're going to cheat, these are delicious, but they have the regular, uniquely crispy, deep, just like how a cookie was supposed to be made. And then over here, we have the gluten-free. Now, don't get me started on gluten, because it is one of those things that, well, let me get back to this. I'm going to eat more of this. I don't know why, but I am. And I bet you are too. You're going to buy this. I know, I love Tate's too. It's a great cookie. But when you're looking at this, which one are you going to feel better about buying and therefore better about eating, and you're going to eat more of them? Probably the one that has the fad diet buzzword on it. This one happens to have gluten-free. Now, gluten-free is not a fad diet. There are people that have celiac disease that cannot process gluten, okay? But by putting it on a thing of cookies, does it make us feel better about buying it? It does. And it makes us eat more. It makes us eat more. For any of those in the 80s that got fat off the fat-free stuff, that's because the excess sugar that's in those products, and you're eating more of it, your body doesn't know what to do with it, it shoots it out as fat around your midsection. So whenever you see somebody with fat around their abdominal area, you're looking at an excess of sugar. So when you're doing keto, when you're doing paleo, when you're doing Atkins, anything that says low carb, high protein, you're going to initially lose weight because you've substituted the carbohydrates for protein. That is not sustainable. It's not a long-term solution for healthy weight gain. We're going to get into that. Okay, so talked a little bit about the Atkins diet. Their theory with the Atkins diet is that it burns fat instead of carbs. That absolutely makes 0 sense to me. 0 cents. The same thing with like the keto. You're adding good fats, you're adding fats. You do not need to eat fat to burn fat. We have plenty of fat in our body. The way to burn fat is through in times of deprivation. Your body will reach into the fat cells for energy. You don't need to eat fat to burn fat. It makes absolutely no sense. And a high fat diet is not associated with heart health. So, okay, we're gonna keep going. How many people were on like the Atkins diet? Look, I don't care what kind of name you're going to give your diet and what kind of claims you're going to make. The second you turn it into a freaking candy bar, I'm going to look at you sideways. Because this is a straight up candy bar. Now, is this better than reaching for a Snickers? Yeah, but you shouldn't reach for both. You shouldn't reach for either one of them, right? This is not great for your health at all. It's just not great for your health. I mean, 16 grams of protein. We're going to get into this a little bit later, but 16 grams of protein, that's a lot of protein in one candy bar. This is not healthy. I know, I love these bars too. They're really good. Okay, Carla, what you can do with these bars, instead of using them as a snack, don't ever use them as a snack. Take them to a movie theater. Take them to a ball game. Take them to a place where you normally would buy your M&Ms and your popcorn and all of that. Save this as like a really amazing, better in terms of like glycemic index. It's a little bit less sugar. Yeah, so it is a low sugar, tastes like sugar, so that still is kind of sus for me, but it is a lower glycemic index, so it doesn't hit your bloodstream as quickly as other forms. But this is a candy bar, okay? This is a candy bar. This is a 20-gram protein candy bar. So is it gonna make you feel full? It is gonna make you feel full. But that doesn't mean that you should be eating it. Okay, so when I eat carbs, I feel super guilty. I'll give you a little trick with that. Sorry, I have to hydrate at the same time. I get very into this, and then I end up losing my voice afterwards. Okay, so if you eat carbs, let's say you accidentally found yourself halfway through this. The instinct that people have is to then, oh my gosh, I'm gonna diet, I gotta step away from it, I'm not gonna have anything, just tomorrow is gonna be better. The knee-jerk reaction I want you guys to have is immediately eat fiber. Immediately. If you can cut this off at the pass and eat a handful of nuts and drink a glass of water and wait 20 minutes and then reassess your need for a carb. By carb, I mean, these kind of ultra processed. I don't mean this. This is not what I mean. This is not what I mean. These are also carbs. I mean these. If you're about to fall into this bag of Tates, which are delicious, before you do that, if you can grab some fiber, even if it's fiber pills. If you have fiber, walnuts are great, Carla. Walnuts are great because it has fat, so you're feeling a little bit more satisfied. Raw almonds in particular decrease your blood sugar level, so they're really good at decreasing your blood sugar level. Walnuts as well. Really high in fiber. Drink some water. Wait a second. If you still feel like having this, have it. But you know what happens? You're going to eat less of it. And the fiber and water in your stomach is going to slow down the way that this sugar hits your bloodstream, right? Fiber is our friend. Fiber is our friend. If you end up doing this first and then you're beating yourself up, go have a salad. Go eat an apple. Go eat a piece of celery with a little peanut butter on it. Because the slower that you can get this to hit your bloodstream, the less likely it's going to be stored as fat. Okay? Does everybody get that part? Fiber is our friend. I wish that on every food packaging, instead of the protein that they have here, that they had fiber. They had the fiber amount. This says rich in fiber, but it doesn't tell you how much. I can't imagine this being rich in fiber. I've had this before. I can't imagine. I don't even see it here. Okay. But I wish that they did that. This is 9 grams of fiber. That's more important to me than the protein, because you know what? You're going to get protein for the mere fact that you're eating. You don't need a powder. You don't need a power bar. You just don't need it. I'm going to get right there, Cleo. Here we go. Okay. So if you went to a Harvard Medical website, they suggest that you have 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now, when I send out my newsletter, if those of you who do not subscribe to the newsletter, you're missing out, because if you love these lives, what I end up doing, I'm about 2 lives behind in the newsletter. The newsletter comes out every Tuesday. So when the newsletter comes out every Tuesday, it's got an outline of what I've spoken about in that live, oftentimes with links to other things for you to learn. And if I've done a product, if I've microneedled my face or whatever, because as you guys know, healthy aging to me is not just about working on the inside, it's also about the outside, because skin is our largest organ. You can tell a lot by how healthy somebody is by their skin, by the health of their skin, right? Okay, so according to the Harvard Medical Journal, it's 0.36 grams times your weight in pounds. That is the recommended daily allowance of protein. Now, I just graduated from USC as a gerontologist. This kind of metabolic health was very much tied to longevity. And I can tell you right now, if you did that calculation, which was 0.36 grams per pound of body weight, you're looking at, I'll just give you an example. Let me just give you an example. So that comes to 40 to 47 grams of protein for a person weighing 130 pounds. If you're 130 pounds, you're going to need about 40 to 47 grams of protein a day. Now, when you're looking at something like this, you've almost got half of your protein from a bar. And that's not even real food. So imagine you start adding all of this stuff up, 10 grams here, all of the different foods that you eat. That's not even getting into meats. We have way too much protein in our diet. Let's first go over the numbers of how much you need. Then I'm going to tell you what happens when you have too much. And it's not pretty, you guys. It's not pretty. You might not feel it now, but it's not in line with expanding a health span and increasing your longevity, increasing your lifespan. High protein diet, and that's not part of it. It's not part of it. Okay, so according to Harvard Medical, it's 0.31 to 0.36 grams per body weight. So if you're 130 pounds, you're looking at 40 to 47 grams of protein per day. Okay? If you're weighing 200 to 220, you're looking at 60 to 70 grams of protein a day. I know people that are getting 60, 70 pounds of protein a day that are weighing far less than that. And that accumulates in your body. It accumulates. You're not getting any sort of deprivation. And in excess protein, you're actually staving off autophagy, which is when we look at all of those plaques and the tangles and all of that stuff that happens with Alzheimer's and all of this, the zombie cells that happen, we need times of deprivation to be able to go in and restructure those proteins into healthy ones. Well, if you're continually adding protein to your diet, you're not able to do anything with those senescent cells, those zombie cells, and they're just completely piling up. That's what happens with dementia. That's what happens with Alzheimer's. Okay, my professor, Dr. Walter Longo at USC, who did the fast mimicking diet. And if you guys are interested in that fast mimicking diet, it's a 5-day diet. I do not do a lot of affiliate marketing anymore. I'm sick of it. I want to be able to just educate and bring information. But if there are products that I believe will help you, and they really, really are a part of my life, those are ones that I will push. And the fast mimicking diet is a 5-day diet plan of about 500 to 800 calories a day that's in such a way that your body thinks that it's fasting. And so it does on day 3 stimulate autophagy. And that's when we get rid of all of those damaged cells. We need that. We need to be able to get rid of all of those damaged cells, or else those accumulate and result in a lot of age-related diseases. Now, Dr. Longo, who is the head of the Longevity Center at USC, thinks that even the Harvard recommendation of 0.31 to 0.36 grams of protein per pound is too much. He leans more towards the 0.31. He thinks a low protein diet is better for longevity. And you know what? All of the research points to that. So we are in the middle of a high protein craze where it's marketed to us like crazy. Everybody asks vegans, well, where'd you get your protein? Food. It's in every vegetable. Guess what has all of the essential, and listen, I'm not a proponent of being vegan. I think vegans can live a healthy life. You have to make sure that you're not lacking your B12 vitamins, but you can get all of the proteins you need from being vegan. An avocado, for example, has all of the essential amino acids. Doesn't have all of them, it's not an egg, but it has all of the essential amino acids. Janet, I know, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And this is, and I don't mean to, maybe I need to calm down. Fool me once, right? I got fooled in the 80s. I'm not going to be fooled again. Anytime a new diet comes out, I hit the journals. I'm looking at all the medical journals. I want to see, what about sweet potatoes? Sweet potatoes are great. Listen, we're not going to take all of the good whole foods away from you. I have no problem eating sweet potatoes. I have no problem eating regular potatoes. I'm not diabetic. So if you're diabetic, the starchy carbs you want to think twice about. But sweet potatoes are great. Vitamin A, I mean, why not? Again, back to this avocado. This has all of the essential amino acids. You know why we don't need to eat all of our amino acids? Because our body makes the rest. That's why it's called essential. So if a vegan ate avocados and other things like chickpeas or lentils or potatoes and then all of the other stuff, the fresh fruits, vegetables, all of that stuff, you've got all of the protein that you need. Essentially, this is all you need to get from the exterior world. Our body makes the other amino acids that are necessary. Okay, so Dr. Walter Longo suggests that the Harvard study might be a little bit too high, and he goes more into the 0.31. So if you want to look at a low protein diet, high protein diet is considered to be 20% of your calories are coming from protein. That is a high protein diet. Way too high when you're talking about longevity and when you're talking about age-related diseases. So 20%, you see people counting their macros. What? Just eat real food. Eat single ingredient, real food. Real food, single ingredient. This isn't real food. This isn't real food. And things that we think are healthy, this isn't real food. You know how many ingredients go into this? And then they're adding all of this protein to it that's actually harming our ability for our own body to promote autophagy. And autophagy is the key to longevity. Autophagy is the key to longevity. I just want you guys to like soak that in. So if you're having a high protein diet, we've got all of this damaged protein in our body that's sitting there. In times of deprivation, I love asparagus and spinach too, Cleo. And it's pretty food. It makes you look good. In times of deprivation, your body needs to reach into its own fat cells for energy. That's autophagy. Okay? Sorry, I'm a terrible speller, Carla, but it's autophagy, autophagy. Yeah. Okay, so this has to do with our cellular debris, right? I'm sorry. You know, I've got like a little thing in my brain where I'm a terrible speller. Any of you guys who've known me, you know, since I was little, I'm a terrible speller. But I'm an auditory learner. So Dr. Walter Longo says that in terms of longevity, we need about 0.31 grams of protein per pound. So I want you to do that figure. And again, when you subscribe to the newsletter, in the newsletter, I'm going to have this little link, and all you do is put in your weight, you put in your height, you put if you're male or female, and it will give you how much protein is necessary. So that's what the current guidelines are. Okay, so from Harvard, they're saying 0.36, 0.13 to 0.36 is not considered to be a high protein diet. That is considered to be what we essentially need. Dr. Walter Longo, who's the head of the Longevity Center, I'm going to tell you in just a second, Angar, who's the head of the Longevity Center, says 0.31. Not only 0.31, so that's a low protein diet, high complex carbs, and beans, seeds, nuts, all of that high complex carbs, and low protein. That's what our body, in terms of scientifically, that's what our body is supposed to be, it's supposed to be consuming. So we get caught up in all of the marketing, and people are making so much money off of us thinking we're doing the right thing. So in terms of the newsletter, don't do it now. And by the way, make sure that you've invited your 3 people to this live, because that's the first step in going into the giveaway. And the giveaway this week, where did I do it? The giveaway this week is this amazing body coverage. So it's a body coverage perfector. It's illuminating. It camouflages, so any sunspots, varicose veins, anything like that. Sorry, you guys. I have some allergies, so my nose is running. 1 second. And I'm back. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that's what the longevity diet Dr. Walter Longo is suggesting. He is suggesting a 0.31 grams of protein per pound, and that's daily. So for me, I'm just going to divulge, I'm 110, I'm 5'3". For me, I need between 30 and 40 grams of protein a day. That's it. Between 30 and 40 grams of protein a day. That's what my body needs. Do I feel the need to count my protein? I don't, because I'm not eating shit like this. I'm not eating stuff where they're adding protein. They're trying to get as much protein as you possibly can. I'm eating real food, right? I'm eating whole foods, single ingredient foods. Yes, I eat potatoes. Yes, I eat lentils. Yes, I eat all of this. And I'm not gonna lie, if it's a cheat day, because if you guys have been following me for a while, you know, like Thanksgiving, I do have cheesecake. I do eat, if it's a birthday, I had 2 pieces of my birthday cake. 2. But I know that I can do that because that's not my lifestyle. Those are very special occasions. So if you've got something like these in your pantry, which by the way, if you're just going to talk about what's good for your body, we didn't evolve from people that had pantries where you can go and get anything out of your pantry that has a shelf life of like 2 years, right? This is not real food. We have to look at this as not real food. And when you look at it like that, then these can be cheap things. Not a snack, not a daily snack. You want to go to a movie theater, you want to make sure that you're not having like a peanut M&Ms there. Bring one of these. At least it's the lesser of two evils. How to heal histamine intolerance with food and allergies. There's a lot of scratch tests that you can do. You have to go into somebody who specializes in allergies, and that they will they'll do a scratch test, and then you do an elimination diet where you eliminate those things. A long time ago, I had an allergy to coffee and chocolate, and at that time, I was eating a lot of coffee and eating a lot of chocolate. I was pregnant. I had three children, so there was a lot of hormonal stuff going on. And found out that I had to eliminate all coffee and eliminate all chocolate. Now, I can have it now because I don't have it in the amount that I did. So just because you have an allergy to something, it's not like you're never going to be able to have that again. You need to eliminate that. You know you're sensitive to it. You have to wait a long time, and then you slowly, I would say at least a couple months, you slowly, in a much smaller amount, can add that back in and wait it out to see if you have those reactions. So your body can build up tolerance. It's not like a death sentence that you can never have chocolate again. That would have been bad. But anyways, okay, so we're back to the protein. So what happens when you have too much protein? Thoughts on GOLO? You'll have to explain what that is, because what exactly is that? I can talk to you about the problems that I'm finding with like people who are like, I don't want to call anybody out, but I want to call the diets out. So paleo diet is like all the rave right now. And by the way, Cleo, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to look that up as soon as we get off the phone here. I'm going to look that up, and I want to see. And if you DM me, you can that's weird. If you can DM me and ask me any questions, what's your thought on using stevia in coffee and tea? I don't mind that because it is a natural sugar. I don't mind that. There are a lot of like scientists that I follow that are into this longevity diet thing, and they use stevia. My thoughts on stevia is, sometimes I think it tricks the taste buds, and it could make you have cravings for other sweets. So it's just a matter of how does that affect you in terms of your thought process about other food. Okay, so Carla's saying, what happens with too much protein? Okay, so, we can go into the increase of, and I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass, you guys. This is in the literature. These are in scientific papers. These are in the leading scientists on health and longevity in the world who are doing speeches. This is the stuff that I fall asleep to. That I fall asleep to on a podcast. I'm not joking. Okay, so it can increase your risk for Alzheimer's. So anything that is like neurodegenerative disorders. So Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, Alzheimer's disease, all of this stuff gets increased. And let me try to explain why. I'm going to try to explain how does this happen, okay? When we're fasting, when we're on a low protein diet and our body needs food for energy, or what it needs fuel, reaches into our fat cells for our energy. But without the food coming in, it gives, it gives us an opportunity for autophagy. So what happens is, we need protein, but our body is so capable. Just like I showed you with the avocado, our body is we can produce everything in our body that this does not give us to get a complete protein. How crazy is that? I know. So when we're in times of deprivation, those misshaped, old protein structures, hi Beverly Hills boy, these misshaped protein structures that are in our body called senescent cells, they're basically zombie cells. We need to it then allows us to oh, let me take that. I'm going to restructure this and make it healthier. Guess what Alzheimer's is? It's like these zombie cells, these plaques and tangles and things that get accumulated in our brains, in our bodies, because we don't give our bodies a break enough to be able to restructure those damaged proteins and utilize them. They just build up, they build up, they build up, and we keep adding protein. We keep adding and adding and adding. And how many of you guys, it comes dinner time and you're like, oh, wait a second, I didn't have enough protein today. Let me see what I can add for protein. It will make you eat more, just like a low fat, no fat made us eat more in the 80s. If you think that protein and this whole thing about protein and protein being on like now every single, look, this is a white pasta. This is interesting. This is a red lentil pasta. Does not say high protein. This is a white dwarfed wheat pasta. It says protein on it. This gets us to buy it. This gets us to consume more. It just does. That's the psychology behind the marketing. I also have a master's in psychology, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit more tuned to it. Guess which one has more protein? The one that says protein on the box, or this one? This one. This has more protein. But somebody browsing the supermarket shelves sees protein on this. They think that they need to add more protein. They're going to buy this one. This is the one that's better for you. This is the one that has like real protein just from lentils. But this is what I'm talking about. Crazy, the crazy ads we unfortunately fall into. People make a lot of money making these ads. People make a lot of money making these ads. Psychology students, psychologists go into advertising, and that's what they do. We get tricked into thinking that we're doing something healthy. And when we think we're doing something healthy, we're going to do it even more. We're going to do it even more. So if you think, oh, this gluten-free chocolate chip cookie is healthier than this one, you might have only had one of these. You might eat 3 of these. Right? That's the power of marketing. That's the power of marketing. We think we're doing something good for our body, and we're not. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I already said in a high protein diet, which is 20% of all of your calories are coming from protein, that's considered a high protein diet. Somebody said, can you give an example of meals in a day? I can, and that might be something that I do tomorrow, because I told you this is going to be a 2-part series. I've never done a 2-part series on a live, but I know that there's going to be a lot of questions. So if you guys can, DM me your questions. And when I'm live tomorrow, the same time, 11 a.m., I'm going to go through all of them. So I am going to look up the Go-Low diet. I am going to look all this stuff up. I have a protein drink every day. No, I know. The protein powder market is insane, and it's harming you. It's literally harming you. I'm sorry, but it is. It's not going to let you live longer. It's not going to increase your health span. I am on a low protein diet. I can build muscle mass. I'm 55. I can build muscle mass. My body's making what I'm not feeding it. And most of what I eat, I won't give you like a whole meal thing, but most of what I eat are whole foods. Mostly fruit and vegetables. I microdose my meat. I do have fish every once in a while, but I watch the mercury content. So I try to aim for smaller fish. The bigger fish, have more mercury in them. But I eat all the fruits and vegetables, all the grains that I can get my hands on. I don't count anything, but I do intermittent fasting. So I do a 16-hour fast every day. I work out on an empty stomach in the morning. That helps my body reach into its fat cells. That's ketosis. You don't need a keto diet having you eat oils. that you're then going to burn. No, you don't need to eat fat to burn fat. You have fat. We've got fat in our body. We want to utilize that fat. That's what makes our body go into a state of ketosis, right? It's during times of deprivation. And that prolonged 5-day fast, if anybody's interested in that, DM me. I'm going to send you the link. I'll send you the link to that fast because it's 5 days. It's packaged food, but it's plant-based. It's made in such a way that your body thinks that it's fasting. And the goal of that, yes, you will lose 5 to 6, 7 pounds. You will. But the goal of that is autophagy to get rid of all of that damaged stuff, have those proteins reconfigured into a healthy way, get rid of all of the senescent cell, those zombie cells, and then your whole system is kind of rebooted. And that's what helps us live longer. I also do intermittent fasting, and yes, I work out on an empty stomach as well. Working out on an empty stomach, and I know not all people can do this, but working out on an empty stomach really kind of boosts up the autophagy, the ketosis, because when you don't have glucose running freely in your system, in your system, you need to reach into those fat cells for energy, right? So right off the bat, you wake up, you don't have any calories, you work out, your body needs energy. You want it reaching into those fat cells. We don't want lazy fat cells, you guys. If you're not fasting, at some point, your fat cells are gonna sit there, right? You're having glucose come in, you're eating your sugar, you're eating all of this stuff, you're eating your high protein crap, and your body's utilizing what's going into its bloodstream. The fat cells are just sitting there, right? They're sitting there, becoming more and more stubborn, becoming more and more engrossed. You want those fat cells working. You want them reach in. Okay, let's flatten this. Let's give us some energy. Okay, I just ate. I'm going to fill this up again. This is what you want your fat cells doing. Active fat cells. Active fat cells. If you're continually eating, you're not fasting. There's no times when you can reach into those fat cells. You're just accumulating. How many avocados should I eat in a day? Not like 10. I eat one. Is that too much? No. One avocado a day is great. This is a high, like a healthy fat, like olive oil, avocados, nuts. Those kind of things help you feel full. So somebody earlier said, I've always been told to eat protein because it keeps you fuller longer. It does come when you're comparing it to carbohydrates. When you're comparing it to this kind of shit, yeah, it will keep you fuller longer, which is why when you start on a high protein diet, if you came from a diet where you were eating high carbs and high processed carbs, if you came from a diet where you were eating high processed carbs, you're going to lose weight. On keto, you're going to lose weight. On paleo, you're going to lose weight. Even on Atkins, you're going to lose weight, because it's reducing the amount of carbohydrates. And for the majority of Americans, we're eating shit carbohydrates. We're not eating this. So when you reduce this, you're gonna lose weight. But is that sustainable? And is this high protein damaging us? And I'm here to tell you it is. We are in the middle of a high protein FAD diet and we don't know it. I've listened to so many podcasts from health people, and they're still saying you can eat up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram. And I'm thinking, in what world are these people are they not reading the scientific literature? They're once again right in there with the FAD diet. You're right, Cleo. It's insane. Okay, so besides all the we have 5 minutes. So make sure that you have invited your 3 people. You'll be in the drawing for this amazing body cover-up. Okay, and then also remember, I'm going to be here tomorrow at 11. So if you've got people that are struggling with weight, if you've got friends who are on this high protein, I need to get my protein. Protein at every meal. If you know anybody like that, have them come back here tomorrow at 11. I'll do another giveaway tomorrow at 11. I've got a closet full of stuff. Because like I said, I've stopped doing a lot of affiliate marketing, and I'm doing a lot more just giving you guys stuff because I want you guys to learn something. Okay, so in addition to all of the neurodegenerative disorders that a high protein diet can contribute to, which is Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, there's a lot of others in terms of, this is going to sound really bad, but bad breath. If you've got breath that you cannot floss away, you need to look at your protein sources, because that's one of the indicators that you've got too much protein. Also, if you're exhausted after a meal, if you can't figure out, gosh, I just have no energy after this, you're having way too much protein. Your body is overloaded with protein. Somebody said, how do you describe to your newsletter again, Sweetie Pie? Okay, Cleo, so after you get off of here, when I post this to my feed, make sure you tag your 3 people. And again, the more you comment in the feed, the higher your chance of winning. I'm using that different program. But you'll see on my feed, on my profile, you'll see that link. And you click that link, it's my Linktree link. You can sign up for one-on-one consultations. You think you've learned something here? Wait till I get into your daily eating, because my goal is not to coach you for your life. My goal is to have a few sessions with you. We make small changes and we set you off on this trajectory of longevity, of expanding that health span, right? So that's where the newsletter is. When you sign up for the newsletter, when you click on that thing to sign up for the newsletter, I just know I do a newsletter every Tuesday. So you'll get a newsletter in your inbox every Tuesday. A lot of them are going to be, every time I do a live, I do a lot of research. I write a blog as well that goes on my website, liveyounglifestyle.com. That's also in the linked tree. But that you'll get the newsletter a couple weeks later that kind of outlines it, what we talked about, gives you the live and gives you links to products that I talked about. So again, this one will probably have the link to the Prolon 5-day fast. If you want that link ahead of time, just DM me and I'll send you the link. But yes, so we have a few more minutes and I'm going to have to wrap this up. So that's where all of the links are. My one-on-one consultations. I do everything from doing a Zoom and microneedling our faces together to getting into your diet and getting meal plans for you that put you on that trajectory and have you stop, with succumbing to all of the marketing. So then when a new diet comes out, because they're going to come out, it's like every decade, we've got a new fad diet. We're just in the middle of the high protein one now. But when that new diet comes out, you'll be able, your spidey senses will be up, right? You'll have those little senses like, oh, I don't know, does this make sense? Does this make sense to me, right? Okay, I also do a 16-8 Monday through Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday, just do one meal. That, there's a lot of people that I follow. Sinclair does that same thing. He has one meal a day. So he'll drink all the liquids that he can throughout the day, but then he'll have one day. You're amazing. Oh, also best body makeup. Okay, let me see if there was anything else, because again, we're going to be here we'll be here tomorrow at 11. We'll be here tomorrow at 11. Let me just give you the symptoms of too much protein though before you go. Let me give you the symptoms of too much protein, because you're not going to be able to see the plaques. You're not going to be able to see your brain changing. You're not going to be able to see those senescence cells just building up. You're not going to be able to see that. But what you can see is if you have indigestion, if you're irritable, if you're dehydrated, if you feel like you're dehydrated a lot, that's excess protein. If you've got headaches, unexplained exhaustion, especially after you eat, upset stomach, indigestion, and bad breath. If you've got bad breath, you're having too much protein. So have your partner, give you the heads up on that. Okay, so that's it for today. You guys, thank you guys so much for showing up. Make sure you invite your 3 people to be in the drawing. I'm going to post this to my feed. Comment, because it does help your chances. And in fact, I'll announce the winner from today's giveaway tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11, okay? Mwah! Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye.